Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to games set in the Horus Heresy. I'm your host, David Brains, and today, for Challenger Channel number 10, I've been joined by John. G'day, John.
Hiya, how you doing?
Excellent, really good. Now, we've been really lucky to secure John for today. You're in England on a meeting?
Yep, a couple of meetings today and tomorrow in Peterborough, and then off to London, and then back home to Northern Ireland on Wednesday night. So I thought, get on the channel, small army, small case, fit it into overnight luggage, and hopefully get a game. So
yeah, absolutely. And John has bought a very compact army, but it is an absolutely dirty army, I have to say. It's quite tough, isn't it?
I hope so.
Yeah.
But yours is tough.
It is tough, yeah.
And yours kind of counters a lot of mine, so it'll be a fun game.
It'll be a really fun game. It'll be this tide of crimson crashing against these black rocks of the shields of the Iron Hands. It's pretty monstrous. There are two Galvorback and Malgar in there, aren't there?
Yeah, two of them. So one with twin plasmas and one with twin power fists. So twin power fists just runs up, and the other one just goes bang bang.
Christ, it's gonna be a tough one. There's no doubt about that. But you know, that was the whole point of the Challenge Channel. It is a tough game, and you need a tough army to do the business. So, so you've definitely brought that. John has also had to have the delights of Peterborough and the metropolis that is Peterborough. You're staying in the town centre, aren't you?
Yeah, town centre. So work spared, no expense. £35 a night travel lodge. But it's clean, it's tidy, and it's for sleeping in.
You're central as well, so yeah. You've got the wild nightlife of Peterborough at your fingertips, if that interests you or not.
I do, yes. But no.
I think we might take John. There's a really lovely pub around the corner from the channel in Peterborough. I think we might take him there for some food or a late night drink. So hopefully when the game's done and the Iron Hands are victorious, maybe.
Hopefully not.
We'll go for a nice pint somewhere, but really good. I'll be honest, when I saw your list, I was... Yeah, it's tough. Like, you got 10 Galvorback in there as well.
Yep, 10 Galvorback, 2 with Power Mauls and Sergeant or Dark Martyr with Power Fist.
Yeah.
They're toughness 5, so they're not going to be instant death by anything of yours, I hope. And Hell Beloth,
yes.
I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Very underused as far as I can see, but he's got some really nice traits. When I wrote the list, I didn't quite read his rules properly, and I thought, oh yes, I can finally give Galvorback fear, because he should have it. Unfortunately, don't have the Space Marine keywords, you don't get it, so
okay.
He'll still stay with them because he's safer with them than he is with Space Marines.
I imagine he's fairly choppy in combat as well, though. He's got a bit of a few good stats, but we'll see. You know, we'll see if I can't remember his name now. What's my character's name? Oh, Autek Moore. Sorry, just completely blanked. We'll see if Autek Moore can hold him off, but we'll have a look. But what we'll do is we'll go straight into John's list, work out exactly what he's taken, and then we'll see you guys at the beginning of turn 1.
And here we have 1865 points of Wordbearers, led by Hal Beloth with the Bloody-Handed Warlord trait. Leading the Wordbearers today is Hal Beloth, or Hall Beloth. He is equipped with a master-crafted Power Fist, Tainted Weapon, Plasma Pistol, Iron Halo, Frag and Crack Grenades, and Artificer Armour. His Warlord trait is Bloody-Handed. Whatever Legion Astraeus unit he joins causes fear. He has a hexagraphic ward save. Basically ignores the first wound he suffers, even if it would normally cause instant death. He just shrugs it off. And once per game, he can use the Exhortation of Battle, which allows him to give all units in the Wordbearers army weapon skill 5. Second HQ for the Wordbearers is a Chaplain. Chaplain has Artificer Armour, Plasma Pistol, Refractor Field, and a Power Maul. First and second elite choices for the Wordbearer army are 2 Marigal Tainted Dreads, one armed with twin Power Claws, and the other with twin Plasma Blasters. Third elite choice for the Wordbearers is a unit of 10 Galvorback, led by a Dark Martyr with Power Fist and 2 models with Power Mauls. First troop choice for the Wordbearers is a unit of 10 Tactical Marines with Bolters. Second troop choice for the Wordbearers is a unit of 5 Recon Marines with pump-action shotguns. Third troop choice for the Wordbearers is a unit of 5 Recon Marines with sniper rifles and power armour. First and second fast attack choice for the Wordbearers is a unit of 2 Tarantula sentry guns with twin-linked las cannons.
1,865 points of Iron Hands, led by Ortec Moore. His warlord trait is Murderous Arsenal. Leading the Iron Hands is Ortec Moore. He's equipped in Cataphractii Terminator armor. He's equipped with a servo harness, Cortex controller, Paragon blade, and Volkite charger. His warlord trait is Murderous Arsenal, which gives him and a unit he joins preferred enemy special rule, which allows him to reroll fail to hit and to wounds roll of 1 when attacking its hated foe in the shooting and combat phase. Elites are 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts, both armed with Carey's assault cannons. Both have chain fists, but one has a inbuilt graviton gun and the other an inbuilt melter gun. Both have been upgraded to have extra armour. Troops for the Iron Hands, because I'm using the Bitter Iron Rite of War, it makes all Immortals squads as troops. I've taken 3 squads of 15 Iron Hands Immortals, all armed with Volkite chargers. 3 have been upgraded to take melter guns. The Sergeant is equipped with Artificer armour, a melter bomb, and a breaching charge. The Immortals gain the Immortal Hatred special rule, which gives them hatred against traitors, and that allows them to reroll all fails to hit rolls during the first turn of each close combat phase. They also have the Bitter Duty special rule, and that gives them the Stubborn special rule whilst in the enemy's deployment zone.
John, we're deployed and ready to go. I'm a bit worried. You've got a huge unit of Gavel back on the right-hand side, and those 2 Mulgar have double teamed up, and they're looking quite menacing.
I hope so.
He says very quietly and collectedly, yeah. They're tough.
They can be, yeah. 4 hull points is good. The fleet on them is good as well. So the close combat one will run forward and hopefully distract you while the other one runs up behind and shoots his twin plasmas.
Yeah, I can't do much for those Malgar unless I commit the Dreadnoughts early, and I'm not sure I want to do that. So I'm going to be taking las cannons for the whole game, I would have thought. So I need to be quite mobile. I think my plan here is to move up the table and try and meet John halfway at the board. So rather than sort of castling up, I guess. But we'll see. It's going to be a really interesting game. I also noticed you've got some scouts on the far right-hand side of the board.
Yeah, scouts are there. Run up the back. They're just going to spend the whole game running and distract you. Keep one unit in the backfield. Yeah. And
Derek pulled that trick when he was here last, didn't he, with his Space Wolves?
That's who I copied. I also kind of did a cheap copy of his 2 Dreadnoughts at the back. Tarantulas are cheaper.
Very effective. Very effective. Because the strength 9, although you get -1 because the Iron Hand special roll, they're still strength 8. I won't get my Feel No Pain. I might get a cover save, but that's about it. So I'll be slightly better than my shield save, but we'll have to see. Anyway, let's get on with it. John, good luck to you.
Thank you. Good luck.
And we'll go straight on to Word Bearers turn 1.
Word Bearers turn 1 movement. The Scouts and Recon armor have advanced forward. The door has been opened by the Scouts with sniper rifles, and the Gal Vorbak have moved through the door. On the opposite side, the door was opened by the tactical squad, and 2 Maragals have advanced forward, ready to shoot. Word Bearers turn 1 shooting. Scouts ran up a massive 1 inch, which was great. The Gal Vorbak ran up 4 inches. And the snipers at the back hung back to keep the doors open in case David decided to shut the doors on me. Tactical Squad did the same, and the Marigal ran up 4, the one with the 2 power claws. The Marigal with the twin plasmas shot the door twice, hit it twice, and did nothing.
Iron Hands turn 1 movement. Not a lot happened in this turn. The Iron Hands Immortals pushed up through the door. They went about 4 inches. They're just keeping that buffer zone between the Galval back. So I've stayed just out of 18-inch range. I need to shoot some of those Galval back before they reach the lines of the Iron Hands, or they are going to mince the Iron Hands Immortals. The squad at the back have shuffled over. I think I need to put as much firepower down on those Galval back as possible. So I've committed the Contemptor, Alltech Maw, and 2 Immortal squad to take down that unit. Hopefully I'll be able to shoot them in the next turn. And then on the right-hand side, I'm really not sure what I'm going to do about those Galval back. So John had a little bit unfortunate luck there with not taking the door out. That'll spare me some shots in the next turn or so. I'm jostling for position, and then hopefully we'll get the melter guns to bear in the next couple of turns, and we might be able to pull down one of those dreadnoughts. I am going to take a lot of casualties in the middle part of the game, but hopefully if I sally forth from the deployment zone, I'll be able to stop John getting in there.
Word Bearers turn 2 movement. The Scouts advanced forward, as did the Galvorback. The Marigals both advanced forward, and the sneaky Tactical Squad opened up the door that was hiding the Iron Hands, giving firing lanes to the 2 Tarantulas and the Marigal with the twin plasma. Word Bearers turn 2 shooting. The Scouts ran forward another 3 inches, and the Marigal with twin power fists ran forward another 4 inches. Everything else is about to shoot. The Galvorback shot at the Medusan Immortals, taking down 2, and then the sentry guns at the back, 2 twin-line lascannons, shot another 2 and killed 2 more. So 4 Medusan Immortals killed in 2 shooting. So in turn 2 shooting continued. The Marigal shot both plasma projectors at the Medusan Immortals, taking out 7 in total, which is absolutely fantastic. The Tarantula didn't do so well. They missed all the shots. So overall turn 2 shooting, I've taken out a grand total of 11 Immortals, 4 from one squad, 7 from another. So I can't be bad with that. That's great. On to the next round and hopefully weather the storm and set me up for a nice charge turn 3.
Iron Hands turn 2 movement. Wow, what a turn! I lost 11 Immortals in that round of the Word Bearer, so that hurt a lot. So what I've done here on the left-hand flank, Alltech Maw and the remainder of that Immortal squad have pushed forward. Their plan is at least take 2 of those Galval back down, and then they will then sit back and wait for the charge from the Galval back. So hopefully they'll pass their reactionary fire test and take some down. The Contemptor has moved up. He's going to lend his melter gun and the Carey's assault cannon into the squad as well, so he's going to help out. The squad behind are out of range, but they're just poised, ready for the next couple of turns. And then on the far end, where the casualties have been the highest, the squad have moved forward, bringing their melter guns to bear. The Contemptor Dreadnought in support with his Carey's and the Graviton gun. So we're hoping to pull that Dreadnought down this turn. I'm going to need some serious luck to make it work. Iron Hands turn 2 shooting phase. Really great start to the shooting phase. Alltech Maw and his Immortal squad with the melter gun and the Volkites shot into the Galval back at the front there. Now, due to the Murderous Arsenal special rule from Alltech Maw, I got to reroll 1s to hit and to wound, which really helped, managing to drop 3 of the Galval back from the squad, which is a really, really great start. Next to shoot was the Contemptor Dreadnought behind the Immortal squad there. Fired his Carey's pattern assault cannon into the Dark Martyr. Managed 2 natural rends, which is great news, and 2 wounds, and managed to put 1 wound on the Dark Martyr, so that was a good result. On the right-hand flank of the board here, 2 Immortals levelled 2 melter guns at the Malgar in front of them. 1 hit, but because of the Shrouded in Dark Fire special rule on the Malgar, the melter gun was at strength 7 and didn't penetrate the armour, which was really, really unfortunate. The Contemptor then fired its Graviton gun, scattering off and hitting the bulkhead behind the Malgar, scoring no glancing or penetrating hits. And then finally, the Kheres Pattern Assault Cannon opened up 4 hits, 1 glance, but the Malgar made its demon save. I'm now really worried about that Malgar. I'm probably going to lose the majority of that squad, and then the Dreadnought will crash in and finish the squad off. So I'm feeling really exposed on this flank. On the far end there, nothing else left to do. We're going to wait for the Galvorback to charge, get the reactionary fire, pill some units off, and then survive, hopefully.
Wordbearers turn 3 movement. Sneaky infiltrators have continued their advance up the flank. The Galvorback have continued to close in on the Iron Hands Immortals and Ortec Moor. The Marigal with the twin fists has moved up, as has the Marigal with the twin plasma cannons. The snipers, 3 of them, have moved out to give themselves a bit of a firing line. They'll be snap shooting, but it's better than hiding behind a wall. And that's the end of saw the movement for the Wordbearers turn 3. Wordbearers turn 3 shooting. The scouts ran forward 4 inches. The Galvorback opened fire with their bolt pistols and took out 1 Medusan Immortal. The chaplain took out another with his plasma pistol, and Hal Beloth thankfully saved an overheating plasma pistol shot. The snipers, three were snap shooting, 2 remained stationary and took out 1 Medusan Immortal. The 2 Triantulas then shot at the Contemptor Dreadnought, taking out 1 hull point and causing a shaken result. The twin sentries on the opposite side targeted the Contemptor Dreadnought, hit twice but failed to penetrate anything. The Marigal with the twin plasmas opened fire and ended up killing 2 Medusan Immortals. The second Marigal fired its twin bolters but didn't manage to inflict any damage at all. Wordbearers turn 3 assault phase. The Marigal charged in. The Medusan Immortals passed a reactionary fire, opened up with everything. Thankfully, I got into combat unscathed. On the other side, however, the Galvorback charged, or are about to charge. The Medusan Immortals passed a reactionary fire, took out the Dark Martyr plus 3 of his colleagues, leaving an 8-inch charge, which I'll roll now. And he gets it. So the charge phase, as you saw, we rolled 8 inches and made an 8-inch charge. Hal Beloth has issued a challenge. Ortec Moor has accepted. The Galvorback will strike first, however, and let's see how this pans out. Striking at initiative 5, Galvorback hammered in. They only managed to kill 2 Medusan Immortals. The Wordbearer's chaplain swings his Crozius and takes out 2 more Medusan Immortals. At initiative 4, Ortec Moor swings in with his Paragon Blade, hitting Hal Beloth 3 times, but only converting 1 wound, which was ignored by the hexagraphic ward save. So still at full wounds, and he's about to swing in with his Power Fists. Next to strike was the Medusan Immortals, who swung in at the Galvorback, taking out 1 of their number. At initiative 1, Hal Beloth swings in and hits Ortec Moor 3 times. 1 wound goes through, but unfortunately for me, Ortec Moor has a toughness of 5, so it doesn't instant kill him, and he's still around to fight, and it's going to be a bit of a slog here. Continue on in initiative 1, Ortec Moor swings in with his servo arm and thankfully misses. Since both units are fearless because of the chaplain and Ortec Moor, the combat is a draw and they remain in combat. Marigal ran in, whiffed most of his attacks and ended up killing 1 Medusan Immortal, and unfortunately for me, they passed their leadership. In the Wordbearers turn 3, it is hanging in the balance. The Marigal whiffed, and it's going to be a really tight match. I'm really regretting leaving my tactical squad and the snipers down at the very bottom of the table out of the action. It's been a bit of a waste. But on to the Iron Hands turn 3.
Iron Hands turn 3 movement. Not a lot going on this turn. John has done a fantastic job of pinning the Iron Hands in their own deployment zone. The squad of Immortals have just decided to stay put. They're fairly well protected at the moment. The only thing I've got coming at them in the next turn is the Tarantula las cannon shots and then maybe a few sniper rifles. So might lose 2 or 3 Immortals, but they're staying there nice and safe, depending on what these scouts do. and depending what happens in combat between the Galvelback and the Malgar Dreadnought. The Ironhands Dreadnought has moved forward. He's going to go for a bit of a long bomb charge and help out those Medusan Immortals in combat. The Contemptor behind the Medusan Immortals in combat with the Malgar has lined his carries up at the other Malgar. I need to start stripping some hull points off that, because if not, it is going to come in and annihilate the rest of the squad. Other than that, really pleased to have taken out the Galvelback in combat. Alltech Moore surviving by only taking 1 wound, so very lucky there. That combat will continue, and hopefully Alltech Moore will win the day for me there. Ironhand shooting turn 3. What an amazing opening round of shooting. The Contemptor opened up with his Carrier's Pattern Assault Cannon at the Malgar with double plasma weapons. Got 5 hits, which was good, and then got amazingly 4 glancing hits on the Dreadnought, which was unbelievable. I rolled 4 6s and a 2. John then went in to make his demon save and failed all of them, and it peeled every single one of the 4 hull points off that Dreadnought, and that is now destroyed. So that has really relieved the pressure on that side of the flank there. There is no more shooting in this turn. All I'm going to do now is make a long charge of the Contemptor into the other Malgar and see if we can take 2 out in 1 turn. Ironhands turn 3 assault phase. Now it looks like the Ironhands Contemptor hasn't moved, but actually what has happened is that the Contemptor charged into the Malgar, made his charge, which is fantastic news. The Malgar then struck at initiative 5, causing 1 hull point, 1 glancing hit on the Dreadnought. Failed his save, so the Ironhands Contemptor is now on 2 hull points. Then the Contemptor struck in with 4 attacks from its Chain Fist, 2 hits. 1 was saved by the Demon Save. 1 of the attacks went through, caused a penetrating hit. I then rolled a 6 on the chart, plus the AP2 from the weapon, which exploded the Malgar, which is brilliant news. It then exploded, caused a massive 7-inch blast, and killed 2 of the Immortals. The Contemptor then consolidated 5 inches back into the safety of that bulkhead area, and the Immortals consolidated an inch forward, just edging up the board. I have to say that was quite a spectacular combat. You know, 2 Malgar in 1 turn was pretty good. I think it's safe to say this flank is safe. We now need to go on to the combat between the Immortals, Alltech Moore, Hulbaloth, the Chaplain, and the Galvelback. On the left-hand flank here, the Galvelback struck in initiative 5, 9 attacks, 7 hits, and the Immortals made some great saves, only losing 1 to the Galvelback, which was good news. The Chaplain then struck with his 4 attacks, 3 hits, 3 wounds, and no wounds were caused. Next, we'll go into Alltech Moore in combat with Hulbaloth. Alltech Moore struck at initiative 4 with his Paragon Blade, 3 attacks, only got 1 hit, but that hit went through, rolled a 1 to wound, but because of the Murderous Arsenal, I got to re-roll it, which was good, and it put a wound on Hulbaloth, so that was really great news. Next, we're into the Immortals striking initiative 4. The Immortals struck next, 4 attacks, got 3 hits, 1 wound, but it was saved on the armour of the Galvelback. Striking initiative 1, Alltech Moore's servo arm went in, managed to pinch Hulbaloth, which was brilliant, with his strength 8 weapon. Would have insta-killed him, but he made his invulnerable save, so great work there from Hulbaloth. He then went in with his attacks, all hit, but caused 3 wounds on Alltech Moore. I made 2, failed 1, so Alltech Moore is now down to 1 wound. Again, both units are fearless. The combat continues as we move into the next Wordbearer's turn.
Wordbearer's turn 4 movement. The trap has been sprung. They closed the door, sealing off 15 of the Medusan Immortals because all the guns were out of range and there was no point them lying there, and it's going to take a turn or 2 for them to move out of there. The tactical squad moved up, and the scouts then moved into the archway to make it look as if they are defending something, but they're really hiding out the way because they can't do anything. The scouts down the far end have completed their advance and are now at the door. And next turn, if they still can, are going to run on through the breach and hope for the best. Warbearers turn 4 shooting. Only one thing was in range, that was a single tarantula who shot at the Medusan Immortals. Unfortunately, they made their shield save. Warbearers turn 4 combat. The initiative 5, the Gal Vorbak swung in at the Medusan Immortals, killing one of them. The Warbearers Chaplain then swings in and takes out another Medusan Immortal. So Ortec Moore just swung in, hit 3 times, one of which was Murderous Strike, and Hal Beloth failed his save and died. The other wound spilled onto Gal Vorbak, who saved on their demon save. The Medusan Immortals attacked back, thankfully whiffed. The combat is a draw at the moment. Hal Beloth is gone. The Chaplain is holding the Gal Vorbak in place. And on to turn 4 for the Iron Hands.
Iron Hands turn 4 movement. Wow, what a turn. Really pleased with that murderous strike there from Ortec Moore taking out Hal Beloth. That combat is still tied up there. I think it's going to rage on for quite a while, but we'll see what happens. In the movement phase, the Contemptor in the Iron Hands deployment phase has just refaced. His plan is to take out the scouts behind the door once the melter gunners in the Immortal Squad have melted the door. It's perhaps a little bit of an ambiguous rule, because in the rules that I wrote for the mission, it says that to open and close doors, you need to be in contact with a console. You could argue that the Immortals can open their own doors remotely, but for the sake of the mission, we're just going to play it this way. So the plan is to melt the door and then carries the scout squad behind it. On this side flank here, I've kind of worked out that the tac squad aren't going to make it in range to contest the deployment zone, and there's no point standing there taking shots on those las cannons. So I've ignored the right hand flank. I've moved the Contemptor over just in case the Gal Vorbak win the combat. Remember that Ortec Moore has only got 1 wound left, and then if they do break through in this turn, the Contemptor will then shoot and countercharge or take a charge from the Gal Vorbak, depending on what turn that happens. And then the Immortals have just scuttled into that little recess there to stay out of fire. You know, it's a reasonable game. I think the Iron Hands have got it, but we're not trying to be too cocky, so we're just trying to cover all of our bases. Iron Hands turn 4 shooting. The 3 melter guns opened up on the door. Only 2 hit, but they managed to destroy it. The Contemptor then opened up with his Carey's Pattern Assault Cannon and killed 4 of the scouts. I couldn't kill the last scout because obviously he was out of range, or line of sight rather. So he's alive and he passed his leadership test. That's all the Iron Hands have for shooting. We're now into combat with Ortec Moore, the Gal Vorbak, and the Chaplain. Iron Hands turn 4 assault phase. Ortec Moore issues a challenge to the Chaplain, which the Chaplain accepted. The Chaplain then struck at Ortec Moore, hitting 3 times, wounding 3 times, but Ortec Moore made his 2-up armor save, which was great. The Gal Vorbak then struck, and they pulled down 2 of the Iron Hands Immortals. Next to strike is Ortec Moore against the Chaplain. Ortec Moore struck with his Paragon Blade, 3 attacks, 2 hits, 2 wounds, and the Chaplain failed his Refractor Field, killing him, which was good news for the Iron Hands. The Gal Vorbak then passed their leadership test, locking up Ortec Moore in combat. That has given me a little bit of gap now, so I might be able to get some Immortals in contact in the next couple of turns, but we'll have to see. But Ortec Moore is certainly holding up those Gal Vorbak with 1 wound left. Let's see what the Word Bearers can do in their turn 5.
Warbearers turn 5 movement. The Brave Sergeant head round the corner. The tactical squad advanced up. It's a bit pointless, but it's just to make them look brave. And that's all there is. There's no line of sight for shots or anything, so it'll just be a case of combat next. Warbearers turn 5 assault phase. We swung with everything we had at Ortec Moore, causing 4 wounds. But Ortec saved every single last one of them. Then he retaliated, killing off one of the Gal Vorbak, and they've consolidated after passing their morale check.
Iron Hands, turn 5, movement and shooting. The Contemptor in the middle here took a step back. I don't want to step out into the corridor and expose himself to those las cannons, so he stood back and allowed the Immortals to walk through. They were then charged to help out Ortec Moore. If I roll a 1 in combat with Ortec Moore, then for his armor save, I am dead. So I need those Immortals just to help him out, just in case. The Contemptor here, again, don't want to expose myself. He just shuffled around a little bit, just make it like he's doing something. The Immortal Squad moved 6 inches, took aim with a melter gunner, and killed the final scout, securing the backfield of the deployment zone. Next up, we're going to have the Immortals charge into combat and help Ortec Moore out. Iron Hands, turn 5 assault phase. The Immortals made a 7-inch charge into the Galvor back. At initiative 5, the Galvor back struck first, splitting their attacks equally between Ortec Moore and the Immortals. 3 attacks went in, 3 wounds, and killed one of the Immortals. 3 attacks then went into Ortec Moore. 3 hits, 3 wounds, but Ortec Moore made his 3 2-up armor saves, which was great. Now we need to strike back with Ortec Moore with his Paragon Blade. Strike at initiative 4, Ortec Moore swung with his Paragon Blade, managed to put a wound on one of the Galvor back. The Immortals then struck, causing no wounds. Then at initiative 1, the servo arm went in and took the final wound off the Galvor back, leaving 1 left. We now go into Wordbearer's turn 6, and John has got a lot of work to do.
And they think it's all over. It's just about now. The Wordbearers turn 6 movement. The assaults of the tactical squad moved up, and just to make it look good, it's a foregone conclusion. We're going to move in shooting. There's nothing to do. So the Wordbearers then ran. And it's going to be into a wing and a prayer for the Galvor back against Ortec Moore. Hopefully kill him, consolidate 4 inches into the deployment zone, and then resist the Contemptor for a turn. Yeah, it's wishful thinking. Well, that didn't go exactly according to plan. The Galvor back swung in, hit 3 times and wounded. Ortec Moore made all his saves, and then swung his Paragon blade and killed the last Galvor back. And that is game. Thanks for the game, David. It was very enjoyable. Next time, might do better.
That was it. Challenge the Channel number 10. And I have to say, despite the odds, the Iron Hands were victorious.
Yeah, it was a cracker game. Early turns, I thought I had it, and then
me too.
The two Marigals going in turn 3 was just the death of it.
I got some amazing rolls. That Carey's pattern assault cannon, got 4 glancing hits on that Contemptor against your Malgar, and then it was just the demon saves failed, and that was it. But I was so paranoid and so worried about that list, but. The Immortals did a great job with their shields fending off the Galvor back.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be an issue when I wrote the list. Although I think Hal Beloth and the Galvor back and the Tainted Dreads made it more thematic, because he does like the more chaosy side of things. Yeah. So it was avoiding demons and having a more demon-themed army. Mm-hmm. I knew it would hit hard, or it could hit hard, but I knew that the shields would negate an awful lot of their attacks.
Yeah. The other thing to mention as well, because the Immortals and Ortec Moore have got Ortec Moore's got Artificer armor or Terminator armor, 2-up armor, and then the Immortals have got the hardened armor as well, which means that strength 4 rend doesn't affect them. So it's a really unique thing, which is really good. So they were dishing out strength 4 rending attacks, but they weren't taking any back, which I think helped keep them alive for a little bit as well.
Definitely did, yeah.
Yeah, so, oh God, I just can't believe it. There's some rolls in that game were just unreal, and I honestly thought you were going to take Ortec Moore out. I really did.
Dice, you would think so, but it's a dice game and it's a bit of fun. Yeah, it was really enjoyable.
Good.
I can't wait to come back sometime in the future.
Ah, good stuff. Yeah, well, we always love having people back because, you know, on the day filming's a bit. There's quite a lot to remember. So the first game is good, but when people come back for the second time, that's where it starts to get really polished, and you're familiar with the process now. It's quite involved, but John did a really great job describing his turn and telling us, you know, all that happened. So fantastic work. Tell us a little bit about the community of gaming you've got in Northern Ireland. Tell us about that.
Community is very strong. We do travel for 30k. We do travel about because 8Z did slow down the heresy train an awful lot. But there's a new club open called Exploding Dice in Bangor, and there's been a lot more interest in 30k again, which is nice because a regular place is always good for the community. And we've got GaelCon, but it's not on this year, but they're going to do Siege of Terror for 2020 down in Dublin. So I'm really looking forward to that. You've got the Heresy Island, which is always a good place to go for games.
Whereabouts is it?
Heresy Island is a Facebook group.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
The guys are based in mainly Dublin, Cork, and County Down areas. So the three main pools of players that I'm aware of.
Is there a good spread of armies though in Northern Ireland to play against, or? Yeah,
there's most of them are traders.
It's no bad thing. That's all right.
Most of them are traders. There's a nice spread. A couple of really nice armies.
Good stuff. Yeah. So plenty to do. So if you're in Ireland, get on that Facebook page, try and organise a game. You know, do exactly what John's done and contact the channel and you know, set up a game because it's definitely doable. And I'm sure someone would love to host a game out there if someone wants to travel to, if they've got work over there or something. So get in touch, get on that Facebook page. Siege of Terror sounds cool. I have to keep an eyes peeled for that one.
So a guy called Mark Mark, French guy from Dublin, is running it. So he's ran the last two GaelCons. It's been really, really good, enjoyable, and he's ran a joint one with me where we did multi-location 30k campaign day.
Okay, cool.
So we wrote the rule packs together, and they all flowed into each other. And then there was 3 or 4 apocalypse style games at the end of the day. So there was missions at the beginning. And depending on the result of your mission, depending on what reinforcements you got or didn't get.
Yeah.
And it just made for a nice, interesting 3-on-3 multiple apocalypse games.
Right.
Which were hosted in Tabletop Tavern and in Dublin as well.
Fantastic.
So, and as a result, results were fed in, then give you a total for who won, whether the traders or the loyalists.
Okay.
So it was fun.
Yeah, plenty to get involved in, eh? Good stuff. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed this game. It was Challenge Channel number 10, which is absolutely bonkers. I kind of think back when I first designed the mission, and now we're 10 games in. So second appearance from Word Bearers. So really pleased to have them on. I've took loads of photos of this game. So if you go to the Facebook page when the game is released, you'll be able to see those photos. John isn't on Instagram, so get the photos from Facebook or on the channel's Instagram page there. I know you're quite active on Facebook groups as well, aren't you? You post a little bit and have a look around. So if you've got any direct questions for John, try and contact him directly if you can. That'll be great. Other than that, thank you so much for turning out.
Thanks for having us. It was really enjoyable. And as I said, I can't wait to try out the Solar Auxiliary Challenger channel that you described earlier on. It sounded really, really interesting.
Yeah, Challenger channel will change. It will go to like a Solar Auxiliary, going to be finding like a large hilltop fort with some large heavy weapons, and it will essentially be an apocalypse game where it'll probably be about 3 to 5k, and you'll need to assault the hilltop fort. So fingers crossed, I need to get the War on the Webway board built first. That's coming very soon, maybe in the next couple of months. And then I've got to build the Solar Auxiliary fort. But it will be coming, so maybe the end of the year. But you're welcome back anytime. So
thank you.
Good stuff. We will see you in Challenge Channel number 11.